uses his money to display his power hungry, just power hungry. Okay, I look at it this way. Whether he's president or not, he's like, I don't know, what is he, 82? I don't know what the hell the president is. He's got all the money in the world that anybody could want. Life is short, as we all know that. I mean, should he be like retired in his mansion in, what do they call it, Marilu or something, his mansion in Florida? Should he be sipping a martini or something somewhere instead of engaging in one of the most stressful professions in the world, is to be a politician? I don't get it. Probably never will. Other than think it just has to do with power. And power, as it plays out on YouTube too, anybody could get behind a cell phone or laptop or whatever and communicate anything they want to an audience, hiding behind their protective veil, you know, which is the phone itself and the distance between you and somebody else, which allows them to say anything they want. But in real life, one-to-one, what would they really say? I met up with Pig Nose, for example, in SNR, and he talked shit about me. But when he approached me in person, there was a whole different story. He just started joking around like nothing ever happened. Well, a lot happened, believe me, a lot happened. And if I wasn't in a different country, I mean, it would just be a misdemeanor if I fucking punched him in the fucking face. Really. I could have done that in SNR. I even told the Jamoli, I'm here, I'm in front of you right now. You got a problem, we do something. Cold cock me, do something. He didn't do that. He just went into jokes. That's the way it is on here. But their way of getting even with you, I'll get even with you. I'm going to get these people to go after you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That's a coward. To me, that's a coward. I can't define it any other way. People like to play with other people's lives, and they think it's a joke. Now, unless you have a legitimate reason, okay, let's talk legal shit, right? Unless you have a legitimate reason that somebody on here has dishonored you in such a horrible way that it would affect your reputation and so on and so forth. I don't mean just calling you any word. And maybe they called you that a couple of times. You say, all right, you know, that's not cool. I've done that shit too in the past. I've said some choice words to people right here on YouTube. I certainly have, but when you do something consistently, almost on every damn show that you put on, that's a whole different ball game altogether. Altogether. That's a whole different story. You bring yourself to a point where you feel you have to do something. You need to remedy a problem. But somebody, when they start interfering with your life, it becomes another problem. It's like this. You have something against somebody on here, fine. Do what you feel you need to do, okay? Express yourself. Hey, I don't like you. All right, you expressed yourself. That's it. That's it. That's enough. That's all you have to do. But when you consistently do the same thing over and over again for years, it doesn't become funny to the other person. It's like, now's your time to say, hey, I got to rid this pest. I got rid of this pest in one way or the other. I say it's time to stop. You said enough, more than enough, and too often, through how many years? It's not easy just to sit there and just take the shit. It comes to a point where you got to make up your mind about something. It's like, put a stop to this. There's nobody who's an angel here on YouTube, and I never said that I was. I've had my moments out of anger that I've said a few things. But the difference is, I didn't go around every single day, and make that mistake over and over and over and over again. I didn't do that. I don't use my platform here on YouTube to go and attack people. I will state something that perhaps they said on their show that I thought was vile or ridiculous or pathetic. Just an opinion. But you don't do it every single day. If you're going to do a show every day about somebody, you don't do it every single day. There's a time to say, okay, I made my statement, I made my point, and then you just end it there. But sometimes I realize it is hard to do that. Because sometimes you find something so ridiculous and funny that you do have to talk about it. And you will bring it up on your show. A statement or something you heard on somebody's YouTube show that was so profound or so stupid or moronic that you just can't help bringing it up on your show and talking about it. Sure, I do that. But it all comes from things that I've personally heard. It's not hearsay. When I talk about stuff on my show, and I've said this so many times before, and if you're a regular viewer, you'll understand that and know that to be true, that if I had to discuss a particular YouTuber for any reason at all, I'd be stating what they said or did, a factual thing, not made up. It's something that everybody else heard, so I could talk about it and say, yeah, I got the backup on this because I'm not the only one that noticed something or heard something or seen something. There's a big difference, about just jabbering your mouth. So you decide you don't like somebody, so you want to try to destroy their whole family. Their whole family. There are ramifications to things. It's one thing that you don't like a particular person on here. Take it up with them. But you got to realize this is not just a person you're attacking. You're attacking the people they love, their family. You want to get even with, I want to do a complaint on somebody. And I can think of some cases where, let me tell you, yeah, it's definitely worth putting a complaint in or a legal case because it's gone to that length. I could dig that. I could understand that. I could understand if somebody had a legitimate relationship and really loved somebody, their partner. But one particular guy in here at all, it's far from the truth. So it's not like my legal actions are going to destroy his whole family because he doesn't have one. He has a girlfriend that he claims is now his wife, and obviously not. So he gets his girlfriend, there's a pyramid going, gets his girlfriend to put a complaint on me. Who's that complaint affecting? Think about it. Just me? If this complaint was to come to fruition, if the complaint came to fruition, and the whole idea of a complaint is to the whole idea was to get somebody deported because you decided you didn't like them. But you're not just affecting that person. How about their loved ones? to try to get them separated from their loved ones. They're not thinking about their feelings. I mean, if you have a real life love situation, a real partner, not a, a tool from your handy Andy toolbox, you really got a life out here. You got a home, you got a family. When you make a complaint against somebody in that matter, that's evil, because it's not one person you're affecting. There are numerous people that maybe have nothing to do with the bullshit drama on YouTube. Just like in medical institutions, they go after a cancer and they could pinpoint one area of the cancer instead of an overall chemotherapy that's going to kill everything in your body. Instead of focusing on where that cancerous tumor is, they're going to give you a broad spectrum chemotherapy that's not just going to attack that particular cancer in the spot that it's located, but it's going to affect the whole damn body. It's the same damn thing. You're trying to hurt somebody because you don't like them. But you don't think of the overall effect outside of that person. Seen it right here on YouTube. Going through that right now. There's no reason for that. But I can't control what people do. Just take care of the business I need to take care of. And I do. A man of my word. I start something, I like to finish it. That's just who I am. Under any circumstance, under any outside adversity, that's just who I am. You don't like somebody on YouTube, express it. That's fine. But to do YouTube shows for years attacking somebody in particular, I examine the expats that come out here. And I was watching, was it Paul in the Philippines, his last one. He had this goober. No, who was this guy? No, it was well, yeah, it was a lot of shows on Paul's, but no, it was Pig Nose in Thailand. And he had this goober with him. If you see what the guy looked like and everything else in his character, he's saying, geez, this is so atypical of the expats that move out here. The fact is, there are probably a bigger percentage of losers that are moving out here than people who got their shit together in different ways, whether it's financially or morally or whatever you want to say. Then there are, people of, good nature. And how do you know this? Well, you notice by experience in the streets where you're living, or you notice this, of course, right on social media. It seems to be nothing legitimate about these people. Oh, yeah, you know why they're coming out here. And yes, people actually do come out here for the culture. They actually do. Until maybe sometimes they figure the culture is just a little bit too much for them in some ways, and they decide to move out. I've seen and heard a lot of that. It was Paul that was doing a show, the recent one. And he had some guy on there. who decided I had enough of the Philippines after 3 years of being here. And he stated his reasons why. Well, the guy wasn't totally wrong. He wasn't. I heard some of the things he had to say. The Philippines is just a different experience. It's a different world than other countries. Yeah, I mean, there are things about the culture and so forth, and you'll find a lot of idiosyncrasies. You'll find a lot of unexplainable cultural phenom here, really. It's not for everybody. I'm not even sure it's for me after 9 years. I'm not even sure it's for me. But the glue that holds me here is my partner. Absolutely. I could definitely tell you that. That's why I'm still here. And it's not like I don't like, I mean, I do. I mean, I feel pretty comfortable here, but I myself, like other people, recognize the different nuances and different, what I always call it, bugaboos about the society here. It's different. It definitely is different. There's no doubt about it. It's an acquired taste is what it is. Some people could handle it and some people can't. But it's really more actually about how you your environment out here and how you're living and how you adjust to this new culture that you're experiencing. It's like anything else. If you're growing up and you go to a new school because your mommy and daddy had to move for a job opportunity or something, you now have to find yourself adjusting to a whole new school. It might be radically different from the school that you came from, but you adjust to it. Some people cannot adjust to it. That's why they leave. They sell the farm, they sell everything they own to come out to the Philippines to live a better life, and it's not what they thought it was after they gave up everything. And that's a common denominator with a lot of the expats that move out here. We're not getting too much dialogue this morning, are we? Wow, these gusts. There's really a weather change going on here. We've been getting some on and off heavy rain overnight and yesterday, but this morning it's just really cloudy bright, but it's a lot of gusting winds. So the Philippines is not for everybody, but that's a decision you have to make. But I could see why people are moving out of the United States. There's no question about it. Is it just the United States where people are becoming so divided? No, but it's a good example. The United States is a prime example where money talks and everybody else suckers walk. And that's what it is. It's a money-based society. Your position in life, socially and every other way. It's all about what you got in your bank account. Money, certainly in American society, equals power, but every society, not just America. Money equals power. I mean, the whole society, the whole civilization. It's a different time when people used to trade things instead of money. Hey, I got a bear skin for you. It'll keep you, or whatever, to keep you warm in the winter. What do you got to trade me for? But now everything is, It's paper money, and now we got artificial money, like Bitcoin. Go figure on that. It's always about the exchange or the concept of what can you do for me? It's not what I can do for you. What can you? It's a selfish society. What can you do for me? It's not what they can do for the other person. Is that not a fact? I think people just, whether you're retired or not, they have too much time on their hands, but especially when they're retired. Especially. And they find themselves like, I'm on it right now. I'm retired. I'm not like what you call living it up, painting the town red. It's not generally something a lot of retired people do. In general, it's not. And people try to depict their lives on YouTube as being so exciting. And they're doing so many things, but they're really not. They're doing what most retirees do. They're kicking back. And usually they have a partner, a wife or whatever. And they spend time with them. It might seem mundane to somebody who's a lot younger and more agile and more physical. There comes a time when you're retired and you're living in another country, especially in a province. You don't have all the nice malls, which really is the ground zero. Unless you like one of these people, touristy minded, where you like to go visit statues. Now, I don't mind visiting historical buildings. I like stuff like that. Old churches, old buildings that's been around for over a century or more, or a lot more. I find that interesting. But most tourist attractions in big cities like Cebu or Manila, you're going to go visit a statue or something. After a while, that can get really old. If you're living out here, if you're a tourist just coming here, I mean, a real tourist, I mean, everybody's a tourist unless they got an SRV or they're today, whatever they got. But you're going to be living here. But you're just coming to visit. Oh, you might want to see some of these, just like when I went to Baguio was a good reason. Baguio, I had a short trip to Baguio. And, the only thing that was available for for a tourist in that town, there were some nice parks, but a park is a park. There might be some commemoration of some statue of something of somebody. Okay, well, how exciting is that? It's not exciting to me. You want to find things to do, but not to go on the beaten path. I like to go off the off-beaten path. That's what I would like to find more enjoyment away from people, to see some beautiful area that you don't have 100,000 people around. I'll give you an example. Places like, Kawasan Falls, some natural beauty, something naturally beautiful, a beautiful waterfall. But then you go there, any one of these places, there's a bunch of noisy kids screaming and people on a raft next to the falls. You got somebody who's profiting there that has a little restaurant that wants to charge you money just to sit down in the restaurant because it's a monopoly, because there's nowhere else to go for many miles. And they know that. It's people taking advantage of each other. All about money. Everything's about money. Let's face it. Everything's about money. I'd like to see like an isolated waterfall somewhere or something that is not surrounded by a bunch of screaming people and kids, and to enjoy nature rather than You want to have your own solitude. You want to have your own moment of enjoying nature. Well, you don't want to be around 1,000 people that came there also to enjoy. It's no fun. Oh, it's not just here, man. It's a lot of places I've been, especially in America, of course, whether it's Hawaii or Washington State, wherever I lived. I remember I went to see a beautiful waterfall in Washington State. But they built a fucking metal platform at the top of the waterfall so people can look out and look down the waterfall. It's just totally destroyed the whole ambiance, the whole experience of experiencing Mother Nature. Society infringes upon nature, infringes upon our environment. In some ways, I can't blame people who want to be isolated from society to some degree, not 100%, because we are social animals by nature. We are. To be able to have that experience, though, well, sometimes you don't want to be around a whole shitload of people. Other than some really isolated islands out here in the Philippines, and there are, you can hardly find a place where man has not set foot on. I don't know if there's any islands out here that nobody's ever been on. There's over 7,000. I'm sure there has to be some islands that you would think that nobody's ever been to, but I'm doubting it. I think man has set foot on every even hard to reach place there is. How do you find solitude in a world of chaos? Oh, that's a great statement. How do you find solitude in a world of chaos? In a world that is overpopulated, how do you find that peace and solitude? It's hard to. We got a growing society. Now, I'm sure the government had their hand in trying to reduce that society with viruses and things like that, and they're probably still going to do it. That wouldn't surprise me. I think that's been an ongoing thing. Oh, I don't know. Some people believe in the chemtrails. I don't know. I wouldn't put it out. I mean, oh, let me see. Steve Montelli was big on that. And maybe even Fazio, big on the chemtrails on planes. Well, it's really not that outlandish. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the government to do that. I don't think that's too outlandish. I wouldn't be surprised at all. They call it government conspiracies. And I'm sure there's a lot of them. The average Joe, as far as they know, that the light in the refrigerator goes off when you shut that door. But there's some people that think out of the box and they say, well, how do I know? I think they did shows on it, not on YouTube, I mean. Somebody seen on TV. How do you know that light bulb actually goes off when you shut the door? You don't know. Because when you open a door, that light is on. Does a tree fall in the forest if you're not there to see it fall? You got to have an open mind about things. Some things may sound very absurd, but maybe they're not. But the absurdity that goes on social media, it's phenomenal. You see yourself aging, and you come to this country to try to relive your youth, which a lot of expats actually do. Some have very legitimate reasons for coming here. Some people are running away from something, Everybody has a rhyme and reason why they come to the Philippines or any other country. Unfortunately, it's like a lot of them are running away from something, not towards something. A statement I've made many, many times. It turns out to be true too for many of them. Then they come here and, okay, well, I'm going to get all this action. No, they're not, unless they pay for it. It's unfortunate that they stereotype Filipinas as being easy peasy pickings. And people take advantage of their poverty. A lot of them are in poverty. Not all of them, but a lot of them are in poverty, mostly. Oh, easy picking. They like foreigners. Even if you're only making $500-600 a month, that's a winner to some Filipinos. There's a lot of Filipino men that Filipinos meet are not even making that much on a job. So if you meet a foreigner who makes $500-600 a month, American money, that's like a score. It's a score. But I do understand where people try to elevate themselves to a better position. And sometimes you can't blame these Filipinos for doing so. I've said that before too. And it doesn't necessarily always mean that they're using somebody, but in a sense, most are. And in a sense, you can't really blame them when they can't get out of their own family poverty. And they know they got one life, and I got to move up a couple of notches somehow. I think all Filipinos are that way, even my own. But the question is to what degree? That's the question. I think a Filipino has every right, according to what their motives are now, but I think they have every right to want to step up from their position when they find it impossible. Maybe they get tired of living in a less than desirable home. That's very common. Limited income. So it's an ideal situation is to meet a foreigner. And he doesn't have to be rich, but he makes more money than the family does. And she'll get together with him because maybe he's living in a nice home and she'll have all the modern appliances and everything else. That's common. To live a little bit better life, to be able to go out for a dinner now and then in a real restaurant, not a, calendaria. That's a step up. It's not to say that all Filipinos are using, but in a sense, there is a certain amount of an expat being used by a Filipina. Not used always in a bad way when I say use. It's probably not the proper word. Maybe to utilize a good situation. Doesn't mean they don't love them, because there are Filipinos that generally love their partners or husbands if they marry them. Yeah, there are legitimate Filipinos, But if you go on YouTube and you listen to enough shows, you're going to hear so much negativity about Filipinos that they're all out to just. But then it's the other opposite end of the tunnel here, where expats are coming in here to use Filipinos for sex. Oh, we don't have that going on, do we? We certainly do. Put a notch on their belt. Well, they could never, ever, ever have a woman like that in the United States or whatever country they come from. The biggest nerds and losers come here to the Philippines and they feel like a real special stud because they figure it's easy to get a Filipina. But if you find the wrong Filipinas, yeah, you'll get them. The ones that are simply in it for greed, for money. They don't just want to step up out of their position. They want the whole banana. They want the whole watermelon. They want the whole gig. Those are the ones that you want to avoid. You're going to get in a relationship with a Filipina. Watch for red flags. Are they asking you for money? An obvious question. It's always brought up on YouTube. It's a red flag. Do they question you about, what kind of profession you're in, how much money you make, or something like that. That's a red flag. Run away. Don't walk, run. Save yourself a lot of problems. Well, we got no dialogue going on here this morning. That's unusual. I got that famous 13 people here that are avid viewers. It went up a digit. Wow. That's amazing. That means there are at least 13 people that are avid viewers of my channel, or listeners in this case. That's okay. It's not about the numbers on my show. It's about my content. Oh, I actually do have content. There's a difference between a vlogger and someone who puts on a show, whether you're a YouTuber. Somebody thinks they could change their stance after being just so fucking hateful and to have nothing to say on their show. And they say, let me try something new. Let me actually have a topic matter. Then they try and they just fall on their face. They're not, they're not so eloquently spoken. They can't ad lib. They can't really think of a story. When they do think of, you can see that they're trying too hard and it doesn't work. As this goober did. He's doing this members only shit. I'll be damned. I don't care whose channel it is. I'll be damned if I'm going to pay 899 pesos a month, every month coming out of a card, to listen to some fucking hillbilly goober who doesn't know how to talk about anything. He tries. I'll give him a C for effort, but just can't really fall through with it. He just doesn't have the intellect or a different type of gift of gab. Doesn't have the ability to really talk about any topic. Doesn't have the knowledge about most of the topics. Doesn't have the ability to segue on the show from one topic to another so effortlessly, to keep their audience there like I do. I may not have a big audience, but I got a devoted audience. They do like to hear what I say. Of course, people are into the drama. They're hoping I'm going to do a whole show just talking about an individual or individuals. But I don't do that. To make the show interesting, you could mention in passing about somebody, but at least give people something else to listen to, or else they wouldn't come at all. As with this guy, I'll be damned if I'm going to pay a peso to listen to some fucking goober jibber jab and the same shit that he talk about if you didn't have a members only show. It's the same shit. You going to pay for it? You're as big as goober as he is. If you're going to put your money, your good money out on listening to the same shit that you could listen to him on when he doesn't do a members only show. And even on a members only, it's the same crap. You're either a real vlogger or you're not. You can either pull it off and sound like you have some intellect or knowledge about a topic matter to be able to pull it through on your show, or you can't. Some people have that gift, but a lot of people don't. You got to know how to talk. You got to have a little history behind yourself of things you've experienced to be able to talk about something, or things you studied. Mazda 9. I'll just watch over here instead of Popeye's simulcast. Popeye seems to spend all his time on YouTube, doesn't he? So much time on his. Well, we've talked about that, obviously. So it's a common element on YouTube here. And they'll talk about me. Well, Frank just sits around and watches TV. Oh, that's so far from the truth. I told you I'm a person that likes to be mobile. I'm a person that I could be watching a movie, but I can't sit there and not get out of my chair. I multitask a lot, even while I'm doing shows. I can't keep still all the time. I get too bored. And that's just me. And I have a lot of responsibilities around here too that I take seriously. I'm not one of these guys that lets the Filipina do every fucking thing. The one thing I do let her do though is cook because she's pretty good at that. And but I help with other things. I clean around the house. I think I do probably 75% of the laundry around here. I don't like hanging things up though to dry. I'll put things in there and I'll rinse it. I'll put it through the spitter and all that stuff. I'll do what I have to do. Maybe let them take care of the. But no, I do participate around here, house maintenance, different things. I'll even wash dishes about 65% of the time. I'll help out. I'll do that much. A lot of people don't want to do that. I don't know. They look at their Filipinas as some kind of servant or indentured servant or something. I don't know. Yeah, we all know that Filipinas are nurturing. Thank goodness for that. That's why people like them, love them. They do take care of their partners. It's built in. And that's what's great about a Filipina. That's what I find great. Naturally nurturing. As you get older, you're going to need that. But let me tell you about the evil on here. We've got a pyramid going on with 3 people. So I got this fucking reported on me, a complaint. And they want to gear it toward me, but it's not just geared toward me. Let's say I couldn't fight this. Let's say something did happen with that. That's not just what you call getting even with me. Because you're hurting other people. You're destroying a whole fucking family and separating 2 people in a loving relationship from each other. But they don't think of that, or maybe they do, because they just don't give a fuck. I've talked about this before. Other people get hurt in the process. You think, he said, how fair is that? Well, there's nothing fair here on YouTube at all. They don't think about the other person's feelings. Separating 2 people. And there's a financial thing going on with that too. How's the other person supposed to live without the other? They don't think about these things. No, they just want to be vicious and put a complaint in, collateral damage or not, or whatever. They don't care who they're going to hurt. You're not hurting one person. And a lot of people don't understand that. You're not hurting one person. You're hurting many people. Putting in a bogus, frivolous complaint because you decided you didn't like him, or your fucking boyfriend decided, hey, let's do this to him. Let's get even because I'm in jail and I don't like being here, even though he belongs in there and he has a reason for being in there and going on trial. There's, very good reason. Doesn't want to take on that responsibility. But no, let's attack him. Let's do what we can. Or let's get other people involved. Vicious people, really vicious, heartless people. Heartless. I do have a, quote, family here that gives a shit about me. Why do you want to hurt them? That's my point. Travel, learn, repeat. For your reason, there will be their reason as well. It's called life. Well, I'm not sure how to interpret that really. But if you got a beef with one person, take your beef out with that person. You and that person. Not to involve other people in your quest to get revenge against somebody. I'm one-on-one with this goober, okay? I'm one-on-one with him. And I'm not trying to get the whole community to attack him. He does a good job of his own from the things he talks about, things he does, when there's enough people attacking him. I don't need to spread the word about the guy's character. He's done that all on his own. And done a good job of it. Of making people know who he is, what he's done. How much of a goddamn chronic liar he is. But no, he had to get other people involved. And a lot of them do this stuff for personal gain in the pocket, like in funding, where they don't really give a fuck about the other guy. They want to make a couple of coins on the side. And, which is a whole facade of making a little money for themselves so they can go out and pay for their dates and meals and booze. Everything is what's in it for me. If I'm going to help somebody out, there has to be some gain for me. That's what it is. There has to be some gain somewhere. I personally don't think anybody on YouTube likes each other. Some just tolerate others. Some just pretend to like the other person. Some just like the attention. I could name a few people that really just live for the attention. They make a fool of themselves in the process. Well, we got characters on here, man. You like TV shows that have interesting characters on them that have made you laugh or made you scratch your head and say, no, nobody like that could possibly exist. But it does right here on YouTube. This is just a sampling of our society. This is just social media. It's a sampling. That's all it really is. And I got to sneeze in a minute here. Damn. Boy, I tell you what, in all the years I've been on YouTube, boy, have I experienced people. I've seen their ugly sides. It really made me a wiser man. From what you experience in your personal life, but then you come on social media, and it seems all the hateful morons, people that are not living the life that they try to suggest to other people or viewers that they're actually living at all. They put on this big charade. They put on this facade that I'm living the better life than everybody else is. But are they really? Not when you're chasing your tail all the time. And you can't even get a date unless you pay for that date. That's when you reach the bottom of the barrel in your life. That you got to the point that your personality, psychotic personality comes out at some point. And it comes out on social media. We can name names, but I don't have to. You know exactly who or whom I'm talking about. Real psychopaths. Real. And they come on YouTube and they hide behind that protective environment of their phone. Now, I know Popeye's probably doing a simulcast, and he's a good example. The things he's called me, he would never call me to my face. It would never happen. You all know that. I know that. He always has something to say about somebody. Putting judgment on people when, if you had to examine his life, his real life off YouTube, you probably think it was a really pathetic life. But by his own demonstration, here we go. I love the word demonstration. He's living a pathetic life, and you could see it, even if you can't see him, by the hateful skits he puts on, by the very blunt statements he makes on his show. Oh yeah, he'll call me a pedo too, but I'll guarantee you would never call me that to my face if he had the opportunity to do that. It would never happen. And that's with just about everybody else. They got a lot to say about somebody behind the protective environment of their phone. But would they do that in person and take that chance? I'd rather think not. I don't think so. You want to shove your weight around on YouTube, but in real life, it's a whole different story. Even Brevis gave a story when Mick Fisher came into that bar where Ricky was and Barry was. All of a sudden, it changes. With his I'm locked and loaded thing. He thought that he could take care of Mick Fisher. He claims that, I had walked in. I wasn't there at the time, and I had just walked in. If I known what was happening, I would have, done Mick Fisher in. No, he wouldn't. I met Mick Fisher. No matter what fucking he thinks about me, I don't give a fuck. But I will say that he's not a small guy. He's not a small guy. I think he could likely take care of himself. I would say that. And Brevis with his locked and loaded. That's such a famous statement on here. Locked and loaded. We're still talking about it today. He wouldn't have done shit to Mick Fisher. I don't know, has Brevis become a karate expert or something, martial arts expert or something, or whatever? A boxer? I don't think so. He's a breadstick with a big mouth. And big mouths can get you into trouble sometimes, according to what you're saying. Barry, of course, was in the background. He didn't want to say nothing. Then they talked about that event with Ned when Barry and Big Head had that problem with Ned. Oh, yeah, he's changed the story around. Bummer said that, he was in the background. It was between Big Head and Ned. Do you know how fast they went out of that fucking bar when Ned stood up? Barry was probably pissing his pants. But Barry would say, I would never go against him. No, Ned's not a tall person, but, he's stout. He's looks like a strong person that could kick your ass. Barry wanted nothing to do with that. Hell no. You damn right he said he had nothing to do with that. Then let's get back to the little more mundane stuff. Barry is still claiming that he's so much taller than me. He's got a little man complex is what he's got. Small man complex. Hello, Stefan. Barry said it was not his fight. So, yeah. It was not his fight, so he walked away. No, he wanted no part of that. You wonder if Brevis is still, he claims he's still locked and loaded. These people got to watch who they talk about. They may encounter these people again. The locked and loaded thing with Brevis and Mick Fisher. As I said, I met Big Mick. I met Mick Fisher. And he's a pretty big guy. I mean, I don't want to get into a physical confrontation with anyone. I'm not a young kid anymore. But if I had to choose, it certainly wouldn't be Mick Fisher to get into something physical with. Does that mean I can't do anything to hurt him if he did something to me? It doesn't mean that. I'm sure I could inflict some damage to somebody, but it may not be I'm going to win this fight. You got to pick and choose your enemies, really. You really do. You have to be realistic of what your capability is, your age, and everything else. There are factors. You can't always run your mouth because that will, as you can see, somebody's in jail. You can't always run your mouth because it gets you into trouble. You got to watch what you say. And some people don't. Again, the anonymity of it, not putting your face on camera all the time. And you may be living 10,000 miles away like Popeye, and you figure you can say anything you want. He even said that. You ain't going to do shit to me, he says. What if there is somebody out there that wants to do shit to you? They're just being very quiet about it. What if? Could happen. He really had somebody come by, right? How many times was it raining? Who was the guy that actually went by these people's homes, went by Fazio's, went by Popeye? I forgot who was that was doing that. And boy, Popeye went into hiding when that was happening. The coward that he is. They're no fucking heroes, these people. I'll show you what a hero is. My uncle. And I put that on the other day. He was in the military. Popeye couldn't compare the track record with my uncle. Couldn't. Remotely. For what he did in the Navy. And what my family member did in the service. He was in the battlefield. He was in the battlefield. He's got like 6 medals. Yeah, he was there. He's got the shrapnel in his leg still to prove it. Well, he died recently, unfortunately. No, he didn't just make it to 100. He was over 100. He was going to be approaching in July, actually, his 101st birthday, actually. These are heroes. Just because you're in the service doesn't mean you're a fucking hero. I'm sorry. Some may disagree with me on that. And their pressure may get a little elevated when I talk about this, but I grew up when I thought of a hero is when they done a heroic thing. I mean, you don't have to be Superman or Spider-Man or something. When you rescued a child from a fire in a burning building, that's a hero. When you came to somebody's assistance that needed it, that got hit by a car or was ill, you helped them and took them to a hospital, you did something to help with their pain, or you assisted somebody, saved a life, or, prevented somebody from ending their life or whatever. That's a hero to me. That's a hero to me. I go by those old standards. You're not a hero just because you joined the service. That's a broad statement. I don't buy it. I just will never buy it. Hero is when you do something heroic. That's what a hero is. I don't know what you think a hero is. That's my definition. Rain Man. I was trying to think. Rain Man. Oh, so you think Rain Man is actually Maximus is actually Rain Man, who comes on here and has been. And you think Pennywise is the same person? I had a thought about that, actually. But Mazda9, let me ask you a question. Why the hell do you come on my channel? And you act so friendly and you put comments in there, but I see your comments on other people's channel, and it's always against me. What's the gain on this? I want to know. Why do you come here and you try to act nice and get part of the dialogue when I've seen your comments on other people's shows where you are entirely against me? Are you just a people pleaser? Is that what it really is? A people pleaser? You just want to be in on the action. You want to be part of somebody's show to be heard. I'm just curious. It's an honest question. You don't talk good about me on Barry's show or whoever's on or Kev or whatever show you go on. So why do you come here and you act friendly with me and add your comments on my show? It's an honest question. I want to see how you can answer that one. I mean, enjoy it while you can because I really think this is coming to an end. I know I've said that 50,000 times, but sometimes I get to that point where reality just sinks in and says, how many more years do you want to actually put on YouTube? How much time do you want to spend on here? Am I making money on here? What is the gain? I guess that's the key question right there. What is the gain for me to remain on YouTube? You know what it is? Why a lot of people, it's not like I haven't spoken about this before. You're in a different country and you got people speaking a different language here, although they know a lot of English, but it's not your culture. I think people come on YouTube to mesh with other people that have experienced your culture, that kind of know what you're talking about. I think it's your way of extending yourself out, to socialize in some way, but unfortunately, people do it in the wrong way. And they get themselves into massive trouble. You do got to watch what you say on here. That's absolutely the truth. You do have to watch what you say. Well, Popeye makes the assumption, which he shouldn't, that nobody's ever going to touch him. That motherfucker has called me a pedo himself. He's talked some horrible things about my family and people in it. If I was in America and had the opportunity to meet up with him, the first thing I do before I'd fucking slam him is say, tell me to my face what you've said to me behind your protective veil of a cell phone. Tell me to my face. He would never do it. That's called a coward. No matter how you want to define it, he's a coward. Not a coward because he just hides behind, he doesn't go on camera. It's his actions, it's his words. You could tell anybody anything you want. For example, if you're in a jail cell, nobody's going to get to you. Well, that's not true either. You could be in a jail cell and someone could get to you on the inside. But what people like Popeye don't understand is that there are people out there that he has pissed off. That if they were in the area and had the opportunity to do something, I would not be surprised they would. But my memory ain't that bad. I do remember all the times that Popeye's pissed some people off, many people. And then when they were going to be in the area or something, and he already knows that Rain Man or whoever it was came by already, and he went off YouTube, dudes. He went off for quite a while, hiding. That's what little shithead pussies do. They'll hide. They'll hide. That's what they do. Oh, they're brave with their mouth on social media. Very brave. But if they were one-to-one with somebody, would they be doing the same thing? I say no. I say no. You might have a rare few people that might actually do something, but for the most part, I don't think anybody would do anything. But they could sure mouth off on social media. They have no problem with that. It's the proper environment for them. Nobody could hit them or see them, or, Isn't that the way it is? But a lot of people on here, actually, they are cowards. And you're also a coward to talk about somebody's family that's not, for example, involved with your problems with somebody else on here. Yeah. Good morning. Hello. Hello.
Good morning, Danny.
Thank you.
So good morning, you don't hear.
And I see a lot of that on here. Big mouths. And they get into trouble. All on their own. It's one thing to talk about somebody on here. You're not capable of taking action. I could take action. I could think of somebody in particular I took big action on. Big fucking action. So I'm not a person who just fucking talks out of the side of his both sides. I talk both sides of my mouth. All right, well, the dialogue is kind of going down here. We got to give somebody another opportunity to put on a show and talk shit again. I'm going to tell you something with Pig Nose, though. He has really pushed the envelope with me. He really has. We know the pyramid. We know the pyramid. We know what the pyramid is. We know what was done. But some people think they can get away with shit all their life about something, but it doesn't always work that way. 1 second. No, it doesn't always work that way. It doesn't always work out for them. And then they get surprised when something happens. What is the best solution? I think for me, I guess the best solution is taking care of business, which I do. But how often can you come on YouTube and where it becomes really tedious to put a show on, because when you're dealing with when you're dealing with the idiocracy on here on social media, and it doesn't have to be YouTube, it could be Facebook or any other platform, it's the same shit. Now, I think I've made my point 1,000 times over. With my actions, I think I made my point 1,000 times over on how I express myself on here about individuals on here and exposing their hate and bullshit and cowardice. I think I've done a great job of that. What's this here? The lighting. Let me see. Okay. Traveler. He seems like he knows more than Barry. I'm confused. I don't know. But I can say one thing about Pig Nose. I can say a lot of things about Pig Nose. He actually pushed the envelope with a lot of people in Thailand and Philippines. And he managed to avoid situations where he would have gotten his ass kicked no matter how big he thinks he is. Like I said, I met up with the dude several times, but one accidentally at SNR. And he had problems with me well before that point. He met up with me in SNR. And I laid it right out on camera. I said, if you got a problem with me, I'm right in front of you now. Do something. You all seen that. He didn't do shit. But he's got a big mouth on YouTube, and he does things behind the scenes, like supplying the finances to get somebody to put a complaint in on me. He does things behind the scenes and then plays innocent. I never did that. I'm not behind this. I still believe that everything catches up with people, man. I can't speak for my audience, but I can speak for myself. That life sometimes catches up with you sometimes. Legitimately. I'm talking legitimately. To really know a person is to listen to their show. It's like borderline personality disorder or bipolar, where you could go from one moment, you could be sitting down with a person and they seem like a normal guy. But you put them on behind a camera on social media and their real personality comes out. That's the magic of social media, where their personality really comes out. When you got to sit in front of a cell phone, I tell the same thing to somebody's face that I will talk about them on YouTube. A lot of people out here don't know me on a real personal level. I've stood up to people a lot bigger than me. And whether or not I could possibly have gotten my ass kicked about something, I still stood up. Never laid back. I said what was on my mind. It could be a lot bigger than me, but it's never stopped me from my opinion. Face to face. Never stopped me. Like when Brevis first came over here, I didn't know who the fuck he was. I said, I said the exact words, who the fuck are you? No, I didn't lay it. I wasn't sitting in the house for 30 minutes when he came over here. That's a bunch of bullshit. I was in the CR. They told me that this guy, I've seen the same guy come by here. He's out there. So I did come out. I put my shoes on, came out, and I know that this person was coming by here numerous times. I was in Cebu at one time. I wasn't here. Pardon me, when he came over. But he was in town and he kept on coming over because he had to meet as he does with everybody, whether it's Jerry, I don't care who it was. He had to meet someone who was famous or infamous on YouTube. He had to be in that limelight. Had to be. So he had to meet me. Follow me from day one. There's not anything he doesn't know about me or thinks anyway. But the one thing he doesn't know about me is I don't care how old he is, that he's younger than me. Someone tried to pull something physical on me, I'm going to be physical back. And whether you're going to win the fight or not is not the whole principle of it. It's just that they're going to come out with some damage, even if I'm terribly damaged from something. But the other cowardly thing about these people is I'm not using my age as an excuse for anything. But I will say, though, you are a coward. You are a coward if you're making threats to somebody that is 20, 30 years your senior. That's a coward. That's an absolute coward. To say that I could kick Frank's ass, and maybe some people could, maybe some people can't to their surprise, but that's a cowardice act right there. What accolades are you going to get from that for kicking somebody who is radically older than you? Is that a notch on your belt for that? No, it's not. Let's see, Stefan. I remember when that happened, you and Gilder happened to see him right outside. And you told him if he has a problem to do something about it. And Ricky just laughed it off like he was nervous. Put it this way, Ricky doesn't want to get in a fight with anybody. All he got is his weight to shove around. That's all he's got. God forbid he sits on you, it's over with. Let's face that. That's the reality. Ricky's like a lot of people, they're all big talk to get the views and get donations or whatever, but, Mick Fisher himself told me, that came from Mick Fisher's mouth when I was talking to him. He said that when he approached Ricky, since you mentioned him, so when he approached Ricky, he saw his face turn a different color. I forgot if it turned totally red or it turned totally white. I don't remember the exact statement that Mick Fisher said. He thought he was going to go into a cardiac arrest. He's something to that degree. Honestly, that's what he said to me. Ricky's big on talk, but he gets approached by... Do you remember also... I remember some instance, it was in Thailand or somewhere, and he came across somebody that he was giving shit to. He walks up to the table. Then he backs off when the guy was looking at him like he was about to punch him or something. Oh, okay. And he has his famous laugh, and he walked away. And of course, he said terrible things while he was walking away on his phone while he was live or something. That's Ricky. That's what he does. But someday he's going to meet his match. That's for damn sure. He's come so close to it so many times he don't even realize it. Where people generally wanted to kick his ass, that he talks so much shit about. Let's just say Licky has been lucky so far. But how far will his demeanor and personality take him? He's talked shit about just about everybody on YouTube here. Not just him, of course, but a lot of people talk shit about each other. But he has particularly put himself in the spotlight many times. Yeah, right, Willie. Great naval man versus a draft dodger. And that's got to be Popeye himself. That's Popeye. Well, that's or one of his supporters. Obviously. Yeah, I'm sure he would. And once he gets out of his mobility scooter or his wheelchair or something, yeah. Oh, it's people like Popeye that are actual total losers and they are cowards. Because Popeye feels he has a poetic license to say everything he wants from his phone in his protective environment. 12,000 miles away, whatever the hell it is. Sure, you're a brave man, but yeah, if somebody confronts Popeye, that's a whole different story. He wouldn't open his door. He'd go to hide, and he wouldn't be on social media for it. You would not. And this is by past proof, too. There were several occasions when that happened. All of a sudden, you didn't hear from him for a year or 6 months or whatever. But he listened in very intently to everybody out there in YouTube land to see what they were saying. Came up with some lame excuse why he wasn't on. Okay, this is just an idiot. He's my hero. Yeah, okay. Never runs away. He can't run away. He probably can't run. So I imagine there's a simulcast going on, right? I didn't check, but whatever. This is exactly my point. Of course, at the end of my show, he'll have his own little soliloquy. First, he'll start off with that sick little, well, you heard it. Well, you heard it. Doesn't he do that? Boy, do we got characters on here, do we not? We got some real characters on here. Anyway, examine yourself why you even come on YouTube and listen to this shit. There's always a reason and rhyme why you even want to come on my show or Popeye or anybody else, you know. Something is going on in your lives that is not complete. You haven't completed the puzzle yet, and you can't find that last piece to make it complete. So you go on YouTube. It's one thing to be retired, but not necessarily be retired from life. My life goes on every day, no matter what I do, as exciting as or unexciting as you think it may be. I choose what I do with my life, and if I'm happy with it, I'm happy with it. It's nobody else's judgment, and it shouldn't be. It's really none of their business. The fact is, do I find personal happiness in my relationship and my life out here? I do. That's my gig. It's not anybody else's. And to make statements that I'm not happy or this or that, I mean, how do you make that statement? You don't live my life. And that's my point. Oh, yeah, Stefan, I know. He walked up to Scott Mellon in Thailand, and Scott just shut him down. Yeah, I do remember that. And I wasn't really much familiar with Scott Mellon, you know, but I remember that incident. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Ricky got lucky. He got lucky a few times, let me tell you, he did. Because not everybody's willing to put up with his bullshit as other people on here. Not everybody is going to be so passive. And that's what they got to realize. Not everybody is passive. Some are passive aggressive, and some are plain aggressive. You got to watch who you're dealing with. Don't judge a book by its cover. Never do that. I've never judged a book by its cover. Never. You got to go by the content. Don't say things that you think you can get away with when there's a good chance you're not going to get away with it. You don't know what people do till they do it. Ricky puts a campaign of hate out there on me all the time. But he is the denominator behind a lot of bullshit on YouTube, having to do with a lot of people. He is the denominator just to get views and donations so he can go. And the other observation is, again, that's why I laugh with him, because I see his eating pattern. I see his weight. I told you, he's an accident waiting to happen. Sometimes you don't have to lift a finger with anybody. Let them be themselves. I see the crap food that he eats. And one of the last shows I've seen of him, he was talking with his mouth full and just with a mouthful of food practically hanging out of his mouth. I mean, he was literally pigging it out. The pig nose was pigging it out on camera. A glutton, an absolute glutton who even has the nose of a glutton. You know, it's just amazing. I mean, the hypocrisy that goes on here, and where people think they could get away with just about anything. How's that worked out for a few? Yeah, they're either dead or they're in jail. You just never know what happens. Okay, I've been on here long enough for approaching the 2-hour mark, and I gotta find something to eat this morning. I'm not sure what the fuck. Maybe some oatmeal and strawberries. That sounds pretty good. Or oatmeal with cinnamon. Maybe a vegetable. Gotta eat something this morning. But it's been fun. Gotta watch what you say on here. There's more people listening than you know. And you can't get away with everything you do. Some people make the assumption that they can, but it's not necessarily true. But again, to the opening topic on the show, before I go, would you pay 899 pesos a month to listen to some fucking loser? To listen to the same rhetoric? Oh, that was the word. Aha! That's the one I was like. He came out with a title of his show not too long ago about the same, you know, he copies a lot of things I say. This particular goober. Instead of rhetoric, R-H-E-T, what is it, O-R-I-C, he spelled redirect, R-E-D-I-R-E-C-T. This is what we're dealing with, man. Redirect. It's rhetoric. R-H-E-T-O-R-I-C. Bummer. Rhetoric. Write it down if you know how to write. Rhetoric, not redirect. I think even one of his recent titles of his show, he fucked up on his spelling. Now, see, if I fuck up on my spelling, it's not because I don't know how to spell a word. It's just that a lot of times I don't wear reading glasses when I'm writing something, or I'm going to hit the wrong letter, and I don't use, and I won't go to spell correct or anything. I get too lazy and I won't correct it. Sometimes you'll see it says edited on my statements on something, on comments, because I'll go back and I'll correct it. Not all the time. There's nothing wrong with my spelling. And they have so many spelling errors. The errors is what they are. They're errors. I could either correct it, go back and correct it, or I say, what the fuck? They know what I'm talking about. Fuck it. But I do correct it many times because I'm kind of a fast typer, and I use one finger. I'm not, if I'm texting something on here, generally you see people with a cell phone in their hand, they're using both hands and they're using their thumbs and whatnot. And they're going wild with their thumbs, left and right thumb. No, I just use one finger to type. And I'm fast too. I can be fast. It's amazing, actually. I'm a fast typer. Not 100% accurate all the time because I'm using one finger and I'm not always concentrating, or the lettering is so small and my finger is too big for the lettering. I make mistakes and I don't always use spell correct, which I should. But sometimes I don't give a damn. I just feel you get my point. So I spelled something wrong. Or you figure I'm not using proper grammar. Or maybe I miss a comma or something. Or maybe I have a run on sentence. I do that. I do that a lot. Sometimes I will correct it, but sometimes I said, I don't give a fuck. As long as I get my point out. I'm not being judged in a college classroom. I'm not trying to write a formal letter to somebody, which is a whole lot different. But I'm just a fast typer. Okay, listen, man, I spent enough time on it. It's a 2 hour mark. Okay, things I gotta do. Today's Tuesday? Okay. I gotta eat for one. Hope you enjoyed my little show this morning. Yes, there are genuine cowards out there, and they prove themselves to be a coward in so many ways. If you got something to prove, go ahead and prove it. But remember, when you lie about something, it has a way of coming back on you in an equal or actually worse way. Shit happens, you know what they say. But you can make shit happen if you want. You could have shit thrown in your face if you want. It's been done, still is. But you got to watch what you say on here because it could come back like spit in the wind. That's my whole point. Hey, by the way, don't forget to go pay that $8.99 membership. I wouldn't pay a peso to listen to the same shit that I got to listen to for free. And that won't last long because how many people are going to sign up for that? How many does he really have? How many people actually gave in? That would be interesting to know. Strange phenom. How many people would actually gave in on a membership to pay 899, 900 pesos, rounded off, a month to listen to that goober? When all you have to do is go to an old show for free of his that's still on, and you'll hear the same goddamn thing. Do what you want. It's not my money. If you can get it for free, why pay for it? And that's what I say. Why put out the money? And he's not going to get rich that way, I'll guarantee you that. For what he needs to come up with, nobody can provide for him. And a membership fee is not going to solve all his problems, my friends.
Can you hear me now? Ah, you can hear me now, can't you? Huh? All right. Popeye, Popeye. Forcing Popeye to listen to this many. All right. So let's see. What's the main deal here? Well, he's definitely pissed at Ricky. I mean, I've been telling him for months and months and months. Ricky and Brevis engineered Shaw going to Manila and filing that report with the Bureau of Immigration against you. And finally, it's dawned on him. Okay. I've been telling him this shit for months. I've been telling him the hillbilly is too frigging stupid to do something like this. I've been telling him for months the hillbilly is too stupid to do something like this. Right? And the hillbilly doesn't have the money. Okay. Oh, another thing, he puts words in his mouth and other people's mouth. Dude, I never said I was a hero. Never said it. I said I served 20 years in the military. I told you all a few sea stories, right? And this is even funnier. He did a show Saturday showcasing his uncle and his father. This is the same thing that Bama did. Bama sat there and tried to claim his grandfather's accomplishments. This is what Frank is doing. He's using his grandfather, he's using his uncle, and their accomplishments as a tool to rail against me. It's very simple. Any fucking idiot can figure it out. All right. Uh, Here's a guy who's been on YouTube for over 9 years. Not once has he ever mentioned his uncle. Not once has he ever mentioned his father. And not once has he ever mentioned their service to the country. No, only when he thinks it benefits him. I, I don't get it. I don't get it. Um, yeah, I could come up here and tell you all my father was the greatest man on friggin' earth, but that doesn't translate to me. Let's see, Frank, your accomplishments. You've been on SSDI since you were 48 years old. Just recently, you finally got full Social Security. That's your greatest accomplishment, Frank. That's your greatest accomplishment. God bless you, Frank. God bless your heart. Okay? Now you're crying because your time is coming to an end and you know it. That it's going to hurt Gilda. It's going to hurt the kids. No, 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 no. You don't get to play victim now. Okay? You've been a dick for a long time. Let's explain how you've been a dick. Numerous Filipinas you have railed against, called them whores, wouldn't piss on them in the streets, blah, 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 on and on. And you were told, stop it. you're going to get in trouble. Oh, Frank, you're in trouble now. You cannot ask for sympathy, empathy when you've been a dick that long. Continuously doing it. Continuously doing it. Hey, that's what I call a dictum. First, you act like a dick. Then, when you get caught and you're about to get punished, you act like a victim. That's a dictum. Right? And even MJ said it. Even MJ said it. He told Bama, he said, those are your grandfather's accomplishments, not yours. Bama's another one. He's never done a fucking thing with his life except for beg for fucking money and live off the U.S. government. Period. He was offered jobs today in the live chat. I even told the guy, I said, dude, you could order a medical coding book, study that book while you're sitting there in jail. When you get back to the States, you could get a job coding. You could do that from your house. Medical coding billing. It's like putting a monkey in front of the computer and saying, here's all the information, now transcribe it. But no, he said, oh, I don't want to be sitting on my ass all day. And then on the other hand, he says, well, I can't do anything too labor intensive. Excuse after excuse after excuse. Okay? See, I'm not all about giving a handout. I'm about giving a hand up. Okay? Give a man a fish, he'll eat for the day. Give a man a fishing rod, he'll eat for the rest of his life. Very simple. Okay? Our boy, Frank, sounded very somber today, very reflective, went down memory lane. Okay? He cried about Popeye and his hateful skits. Okay, let's talk about my hateful skits. I won't, Nico. I won't. Let's talk about my hateful skits. My hateful skits have nothing but Frank in them. All the hate comes out of Frank. So every time Frank says, your hateful skits, Popeye. Well, dude, they're all your words. I didn't put any words in your mouth. You're the one that come up on YouTube and opened your friggin' pie hole. I just showed everybody your hypocrisy. How you said one thing 1 minute and then turned around a few days later and said something else. They're all your words. So all the words in the Popeye 1 skits are you, Frank. So you're calling yourself hateful. Not me. I didn't make you say it, Frank. Frank. And then, you say, oh, Ricky, if he ever come up to me, I'd punch him in the nose. I'd do this, I'd do that. No. And then you cry, Ricky, oh, he didn't do nothing to me. Of course, Ricky didn't do anything to you. You know why Ricky did nothing to you? Because he knew you'd file a case. Because the first thing you do when you meet somebody, Frank, is you turn that fucking cell phone on and you start recording people. Because you know there's a lot of people that want to give you a knuckle sandwich. And you'll take that knuckle sandwich any day of the week for a fucking payday. That's the type of fucking coward you are. It's just like, Ricky learned his lesson. He snuck up behind Fazio and he slapped the dog shit out of him. What happened to Ricky? He got arrested, spent 4 days in lockup, got a big case put on him, criminal case, and he finally got out of it. And it cost him. It cost him a lot of friggin' money. Right? And that's what you do, Frank. You bait people into doing something to you so you can either sue them or put them in jail. And even today, Frank, you were baiting fucking Bama to come out and do a live stream. You bait everybody. Right? Frank, you're a fucking idiot, dude. And you are a fucking pedophile. And there's nothing you can do about it every time I say it. And I know it aggravates the living fucking dog shit out of you. You're going to have to live with it. You have proved your pedophile behavior by what you did on live stream with an 8-year-old boy. You have proved your buffoonery the day you were on live stream with Ricky and dropped your pants and spread your ass cheek and showed your anal opening and your fucking genitals. I have the footage. Dude, you just never stop. But see, you are coming back to the United States. Just like, make sure you do a live show just before you leave and tell me where you're going to land. Maybe I'll fucking meet you there. Have your cell phone ready to fucking record it. Yeah, he did. And Ricky was drooling, and he calls Ricky hateful. He calls Ricky this, Ricky that. Right? And and yet he'll sit here and he'll call Ricky pig nose. He'll sit here and he'll say Ricky has to pay for pussy. He gets nothing but prostitutes. But if the shoe's on the other foot, what is this clown going to do? This clown is going to get mad if somebody said that to him. Right? You can't be of the do as I say, not as I do club. You can't be that. You can't be that. Nobody's passed judgment on you. We are talking about all the shit that you did on YouTube. We've seen it, we've heard it, and we've read it with our own fucking eyes, Frank. And now it's all coming to an end for you. Well, Frank, my advice to you is a little too late. You should have thought about Gilda, the children, before you did all this stupid shit. How many times did Gilda tell you to get the fuck off YouTube? Stop it. And you kept going. I'm saying the same things to you that I said to Barry. This is why we all believe you and Barry are twins. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yep. That's right, Frank. Pack an extra change of underwear. Right? You're going home. Let's see here. Let's copy that. All right. Anybody would like to come on? There is the StreamYard link. He says it all the time. He says, I am not going to do nothing. I will use the law. I will use the law. Man, yeah, of course you'll use the law. Of course you use the law. Dude, you're 70 years old. Yeah, you could take one moderate hit and end up dead. You should be very careful how you talk to people, right? Gilda seemed angry this morning, and Frank border bet it's a fun morning in the swamp. Of course, Gilda's angry. She had a great weekend. She didn't have to hear his voice all weekend. She got to wake up every morning for 2 days in a row next to her husband, not her not her Italian lover. Oh man. There is a link. Frank shows you. There's the link, Frank. Show us you're not a coward. You know, it's it's amazing. It's amazing. He was really pissed at my last live stream. That was great. Oh, that was great. I know it pissed him off. And and dude, look at the way he talks about Nico. Nico's never done a goddamn thing to him. What did Nico do? Nico gets up in the morning and says, "Hey guys, here's my grass," and has a cup of coffee. Okay. What's the first thing he did when he met Nico? He tried to pull his phone out and video it. Hey, it's funny how Stank says he will do this and he will do that when he meets everybody. The first thing he says, if you want to do something, Anthony turns on this and he turns on the camera. Yeah, of course he does. He turns the camera on. That's his go-to. You got to get that evidence that somebody punched you. Okay? Fucking Big Shot Travel. Ricky, he learned his lesson with Fazio. He really did. And you know what? I don't blame Ricky for grabbing a hold of Shaw, and I don't blame Brevis. I don't blame those two guys for taking her to Manila and helping her with that BI complaint. I do not blame those two guys one bit. Okay? And I do not feel sorry. And I do not feel sorry for Frank one bit. I just don't. I can't. I'm not gonna. Gilda can choose anyone in the world, and it would be a guaranteed upgrade. Bark, like I said on the last show, I said maybe I should stop listening and actually see if he'll do something. He won't. It's easier to free the victim. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Ricky will destroy Frank anyway. Frank wants to go and, in fact, support what we are doing, like yourself. You know, yeah, Frank is the safe space for accountability. Please proceed. Oh, man. So, hey, it is what it is. Uh, Frank doesn't like it. Tough patoot. All right. I'm not going to cry over it. I, after 15 minutes of listening to him, basically all I hear is blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and then it turns into won't 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 won't. Won't, 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 Ricky, won't, 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 Bama, won't, 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 Nico, won't, 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 Popeye. You know, how often can you do that? How often can you do that? I just have no idea. Right? Oh man. But that's what I got for you tonight. I put the link out there. Nobody wants to come on. I don't want to talk for hours and hours. And oh well, Mazda 9, there you are, you fucking fence jumping trading SOB, you. Mazda 9, you crack my ass up, man. Oh, I heard don't. I heard don't again. And there's Nico. And there's Chasing Tail.
Gentlemen, what's happening?
How you doing? What? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Everybody keeps saying, and it's okay. Everybody keeps saying, Nico, you had your chance. Anybody that has met Stank, I can tell you the wind will do more damage on him for free than anything else. He can talk all he wants, man. This is the thing. He likes to hear himself talk. We come in, we joke around about things. I
got to ask you a question.
Yeah, please.
Do you like to hear yourself talk, Nico?
Hell no.
Well, you're going to have to, because I got to take Hector out.
I mean, I can hold that out there for you.
All right. I'll be right back.
How are you? You know, one of the biggest things is not just him. It's guys like him. They talk so much shit. He did it to Ricky. He waited till after he met me. I would have had more respect. Listen, you have no respect for nothing. If you were a real man, put the phone down. Stop talking about, I'm a 70-year-old man and what kind of respect. Listen, I would have the same respect beating your ass, which you wouldn't be worth it, dude. Even smacking you will put you in a total coma. I'm telling you, you know it, and I know it. Talk all you want. My hand alone can cover your whole face and make you meet your grandfather. So that way both of you can serve. Not just him. And you know it, dude. Ricky's not going to bother with you because you're a fucking waste, dude. You know, you can get mad all you want, you know, but the truth of the matter is, dude, there's nothing about you. Your mouth is the only thing you have in filing charges. Why don't you make a video saying, hey, caretaker, why don't you hold this? And I'm going to be a real man and walk up to somebody right now and do. You're not going to do that. You know why? Because you're going to keep blaming that 70-year-old boy. Bro, you're just as much capable of getting slapped than another person that's 50 or 40. Because you got a mouth, bro, but you don't have nothing to back it up with. You know? And don't sit there and say all these things about me when you weren't even man enough to say it to my face. Because I told you on that fucking ferry. If you got anything to say, let's squash this shit right now. What'd you do? You sounded like Deputy Dog. No, Nico, it's just shut the fuck up, bro. There's nothing about you intimidating. Nothing. Think about it, dude. When you met Mick, same fucking thing. You waited till he left and then you talked your shit. When you met Brevis, same fucking thing. And what did you do? You pulled out the camera with Ricky. Why don't you be a real man and say, Ricky, let's go outside? Because you know your mouth is the only thing big about you, dude. That's all. That's all. You know, all this karate shit, dude, the only thing you know about Kung Fu and karate is saying it. Oh, trust me, nobody's going to get a licking on me. Dude, there's nothing about you, dude. I've seen the way you stand. By the time you move faster to light a cigarette and text than you will ever against somebody that actually will do something to you. Nobody's going to bother. You know why? Because it's a court case you're looking for. So that way you can make a little bit of money and say how rich you are. Because the only reason you have anything now is because of your brother. Not because you did anything, dude. Because you didn't have anything. If you did, you would have bought it years ago, but you didn't. You think about it, man. I'm going to be like you, Stank. I'm going to say stuff like you. Ready? Guys, what do you think? You really think Stank could have gotten all this without his brother kicking the bucket? What do you guys think? Did he have all this money that he says he has? Years of being in that beautiful island he calls home, and he could have done this? No, he couldn't have. So think about it, man. If you actually did a video of going after anybody, chasing tail, Popeye, me, anybody, we would probably have more respect for you. Think about it. Like you say about us, we would have more respect for you. But what you'll do is you'll do another video, talk your shit, and say, oh, yeah, listen, I'm a big guy. I'm 6 feet. I'm down to 250 pounds. When I'm thin, you'll still say I'm fat. When I'm more gorgeous, you'll still say that I'm ugly. But one thing you didn't do is you said all that shit to me to my face. And you know what would have happened if you did? I would have laughed in your face, because that's all you're ever going to have of words. See, the difference between me and you, Stank, is I have lived up to what I could do and what I would do. But I'm 70 years old. What kind of person would take pride? I would. But you're not worth the court case, dude. You're really not. You know how I'll get to you? By actually having fun. Wait, when was the last time you had fun? What, CCTV? CCTV? Is that your fucking fun? What, you'll take a little ride on your little scooter and say, oh, look at me, look at me. Dude, there's nothing about you that people are jealous about. Nothing. Now you're going after Ricky, and Ricky's fat and this. Bro, Ricky's doing something that you don't do. He's living, dude. Regardless of how you think he lives, man. Regardless. And when you had the chance, didn't you invite Ricky to your house? Oh, Nico, that was before I knew. No, you knew what kind of man he was. You just like the attention, and when it goes negative, then you'll talk shit about people. That's what'll happen. For a man that's 70, what I would suggest to you, the first advice that I'll give you, is back up what you say, because that 70 number doesn't always protect you, dude. And you're not always with your caretaker. And if you are, some people don't care. Remember that. Remember that. And Ricky wasn't even paying it. He laughed at you, dude, because he knew that's exactly what you do. You pull out a camera. You remember what your caretaker told you on the boat with me? No. Just talk to him. Talk to him. You don't have to do video. What did you do? You pulled it out. And what did you do? You crawled up to me and gave me a hug. And everybody knows, those that saw the video know. I even said, hey, let me stand right here. And what did you do? You couldn't wait to talk shit about somebody again later on. And I even gave you the...
I'm back, Nico.
There you go.
I'm back. And
I just laughed, dude. I think this guy should just die and end up on a slab. And nobody will miss him. When he's leaving the Philippines and he's not allowed back in, the celebration will continue. He just won't know about it.
And let me tell you a secret, Nico. Did you know rain is a good motivator?
Yes.
I took Hector out, and that's the fastest I've ever seen him take a shit. It was grease lightning, man. No sniffing, no looking around, just lifted
your
the
dog
leg.
got a lot more balls than mine. Shiva would have stayed in the lanai and said, I ain't going out there, motherfucker. You're going out there.
So that being said, this also can be applied to Frank. Frank is getting kicked out. That's his reign. It's a great motivator. Tonight he sounded contrite, defeated. I don't know if it was the Lexapro or the benzos.
He doesn't know where to turn. That's the problem.
He tried victimhood. That's not gonna work. Nobody likes this guy. Okay.
Hey,
now,
what did you want to say the truth, Popeye? When we were talking,
when he gets on that plane,
yeah,
I'm going to be doing a live stream, And the intro is going to be, I'm leaving
And
on
on
the
the
jet
next
plane. Don't know when I'll be back
back
again.
again. Hey, Chasing Tail, the day that I was on that ferry, I called Popeye. And I got to the first things out of his mouth, I kind of was not surprised, but I was. He goes, please tell me you slapped him. I said, dude, you got to look at him. You got to look at him, dude. He was all up on me like I was his new girlfriend. And of course, listen, I got nothing. Unless you're going to get physical with me, I'm not going to do it, because that is what he wants. He wants somebody to do something to him so he can throw a court case and get some money. Because if he was any kind of a real man, he would tell you, hey, let's go outside. All right, let's go. No, he didn't.
If he was any kind of a real man, he would just buy a plane ticket right now, get the fuck on the plane and leave. Okay? Do everybody a fucking favor.
Now, when he leaves,
Yeah.
is that for good, or is he able to go back?
Well, it says on the paperwork that he is undesirable.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh,
So
that could be a blacklist.
Yeah, it could be a possible.
Once they mark you undesirable, it's bye-bye you, Haliska John, so sorry for you. And his days are numbered. The clock is ticking, man. And ladies and gentlemen, this live stream was brought to you by the duration of Frank has kept Bama incarcerated 668 days, 19 hours, and 25 minutes and counting. And it was also brought to you by San Miguel Beer.
I love it.
Beer on beer.
Fucking love it.
The official beer of the Bama incarceration. San Miguel Beer. Beer on beer.
And Sleepy, listen, on all jokes aside, there is just something, sorry for the noise because my granddaughter's here. All jokes aside, Sleepy, I would avoid everything like a plague. I really do. I joke around and stuff, but I will never take confrontation lightly. I would go head balls deep into something 100% if somebody took it confrontational. But when you look at this guy, and a lot of these guys, I'm not saying all of them, a lot of these guys, they are more fragile. They forget that not everybody is not everybody's 70. Not everybody is they talk about, oh, these guys are 700 pounds. I was 285. Now I'm down to 250. I still got tons of stamina. Like, he doesn't understand. It's his mouth that he thinks is the greatest gift that he's got, because he'll charge you. He's not going to do nothing. The only two hits anybody he'll ever get is getting hit and hitting the floor. He's not getting out from anybody that literally is really going to do something. But he knows nobody's going to do it, because the first thing people will say is, he's elderly. People are not going to look at that much anymore. They're going to look at him. He's got a big fucking mouth. And you know what? I'll say it, and I'll be the first one to tell you, would I do something? No, I wouldn't do any. I'd let him do the first move, because I know he won't. And because he couldn't hurt anybody. If he ever went to jail and he ends up where, I'm telling you, it's not going to end well for him if Bama gets him. And you know what? And I hope Bama does the right thing and knows it's not worth any more trouble. He talked so much stuff when he had plenty of time to get Bama. He could have went to Bama anytime, the same way he did all these things and got them all looked at and investigated. That's the kind of weakling he is. He'll investigate you. He'll look at you from afar. He'll wait and see, oh my God, there he is. I'm pulling out the camera. That's the length of how tough he is. That's it. It really is. I would rather be your friend. Popeye got mad at me. He got mad at me because he's like, Nico, tell me you did something. I said, bro, it wasn't worth it. He goes, oh, you fucked up so bad. He in Chasing Tail, till this day, he says it to me. He never stops. He's like, you were so fucking stupid. I said, Popeye, would you have paid my bail? He goes, fucking right. But I didn't know that at the time. He goes, fucking right I would, dude.
Well,
That's
listen
an
here, you
opportunity.
stupid shit. You
Yeah,
should
he
have
still
known
gets
that
mad.
I would have paid your fucking bail.
Well, I don't think
Dude,
about it that way at the moment.
Dude, that's what's wrong with you, some of you guys. You're so fucking ignorant to what's going on around you. Okay?
Don't say those words. They hurt me.
I don't give a flying fuck about your feelings. Okay? Not one iota. All right. I'm not here to be nice tonight. Okay. I am not in a nice mood. I don't do nice. I do the truth. I do comedy. I do San Miguel commercials. And if you got shit on your face, you got shit on your face. Okay. That's what I do. All right. Not here to explain everything to the mentally retarded
And be
that
nice
are,
to you.
that are lost in this world. No, not here to do that. Okay. All right. If you can't keep up, okay, go to room 222. Miss Kravitz is sitting there waiting for you with a remedial reading book. Okay.
Listen, I would love to tell you, even chasing tail. I would love to tell you that we're all dealing with a full deck. Maybe some of you guys are. I'm not dealing with a full fucking deck. I have always said it. But one thing that I do know, dude, is fragile. And I'm telling you, this is maybe nobody else talks about it, and that's fine. Dude, he is the kind of guy that even if let's just say he tricked and I went to catch him and help him, I'd break him. I'm telling you, I'd break him. That's how fragile. He can talk all he wants, man. You can see it in the video. Dude, he's got some scoliosis shit going on. I don't even know, man. I'm like him. Maybe he does have scoliosis. What do you think, Popeye? It looks like it from the picture. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but it looks like he's
This
suffering.
is all I know. A, I'm not a doctor. B, I've seen the pictures. I've seen the video of Bama's back. And this is what I know. There's a big fucking hump back there.
Yeah.
Okay. You could grab that motherfucker and ass fuck Bama and hold on to that hump for, dear life. That's all I know. All right. I don't know if he's got I don't give a shit if he's got scoliosis. Okay. I don't give a shit if you're retarded, Nico. That's not my problem. Okay. It's really not. None of that shit is my problem. Okay.
Hey, Popeye, Aliyah wants to say hi. You can say
Hi.
¿Cómo está acá?
hi.
Tell her, ¿qué hace, bonita?
She's feeling the mother. Oh, and say hi to Chasing Tail. Well, I don't know his real name. They call him Chasing Tail. He's a
Chasing tail?
yeah.
Like,
He taught me everything I know besides Popeye. Chasing
so-
Tail everywhere.
I
I taught your man. That's how he got you. I taught your man. That's how he knocked you out. Chasing Tail. That's how you do it, man. That's what Donna is. The best way to get to it.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Stupid. Don't listen to him. He just likes to hear himself talk.
Hey, listen, stay right here because a stank might come after me, and I need backup. I need all of you guys back.
Oh, goodness.
You hear her? She just kicked the old man's knees.
That's what I love about your daughter. She's just as mean as I am.
Oh, dude, Aliyah's. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she definitely is. Definitely.
That's a good kid right there, man. That's a good kid.
And good morning, Mike Luna. Good morning, Bob C. Good morning, everybody. Steve. And I apologize. I should be more of a gentleman. Well, I should have been, but I'm not.
So, Chasing Tail, let me ask you, bro. Let's get you in here on the conversation. Let's hear a few words from Chasing Tail.
Okay,
What-
good.
So, I will just ask you, Chasing Tail, what are your general thoughts on the Frank saga?
Blah, 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 blah. It's never ending. It just goes on and on. The same stuff day after day. I mean, we all could sit there and do the same thing every day and blame somebody new.
Uh-huh.
It's like, get out of your house and go do something.
I would have loved to get out today, but the rain stopped me. You know
Yeah,
it's a bad day when you wake up in the morning and you get out of bed and the dog just stays under the covers. He already knows.
yeah, he knows
Don't
it's
get up.
already raining or it's cold out.
Yeah, he don't get up, man. And you gotta coax him out with with breakfast.
Yeah. I don't know what goes through this guy's mind, but he has not had one nice thing to say about anything or anyone.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I can't dispute that. You know, I can't dispute that.
I mean, even the people that don't even associate with him, he just, if he can throw their name in there and discredit them or do whatever, he does it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sweet Pea, I'll go out on the front porch and I'll start stamping my right foot saying, rain, rain, go away, come back another day.
Hey, listen, Chasing Tail. I actually, as stupid as it sounds, I actually thought that our interaction would have been slightly different because I gave him plenty of opportunity. The moment I sat next to him, because he thought I was gonna sit behind him, like on the other side, and Popeye's like, "That's what you should have fucking done." And when I sat down, the first words out of my mouth, and not to sound repetitive, is, "If we got something to say to each other, dude, let's just get this shit out of the way, man. This all YouTube shit. I'm talking real shit right now, me and you." He said, "This is exactly. Let me not do that. This is exact. Oh, come on, Nico. It's just you two." That's what he did. So I thought it was gonna go a different way. And Popeye's like, "You're stupid. If this shit lasts 3 days, you're stupid, bro. It's not gonna last. He's going to attack you." And this is what he does.
And he did, didn't he?
He just does it from afar because you're not there. You can't justify anything if he's running his mouth somewhere else.
And I'm gonna tell you, and me and Popeye we disagree on this. The best thing that happened on that ferry was him, Gilda and Maria talking to each other. She is a smart woman. And that was the best that came out of the whole thing. That's it. After what he did, he tarnished everything. So he can say all he wants. He's done it to everybody. His credibility of meeting people and what he says and what he does is notorious. So if he thinks that people are actually...
And I would like to say hello to Yachts Ammonia.
Oh, Yachts. Hola.
It's always great to have you
Hola,
here.
Yachts.
And Yachts is saying, I wonder why these two men you are talking about were in their best behavior.
I
when
was,
I
yes.
met them.
I very much
LOL.
I very much was.
And you know what, Yachts? I'll tell you, I know Chasing Tail would always be on his best behavior when he meets you. But as for the
I've
other
already
guy,
met her.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And as for the other guy, I had to warn him. If you step out of line in front of Yachts, when you come home, I will fucking bitch slap you.
I'm gonna tell you, when I met Yads, she's everything that you see on YouTube. A very good woman. I can't say anything negative.
Nope,
Now,
neither can I.
Guys, we got a trader, a fence jumper in the live chat, and his name is Mazda 9.
Oh,
I mean,
Mazda, how could you?
Frank labeled him as a trader, a fence jumper. It's okay, Mazda 9. You're welcome here. We'll take care of you. We'll be nice to you. Okay? You don't have to worry about anything.
We will treat you as bad as we treat everybody else, Mazda.
I will treat you just the way I treat Nico, like shit.
Oh, you'll love it, Mazda. You'll be okay. You'll be all right.
As long as you laugh and smile about it, it's all good.
Well, but I tell you, this live stream, the duration of Frank has kept Bama incarcerated, has been brought to you by San Miguel Beer, Beer Non Beer, the official beer of Bama being locked up for 668 days. San Miguel beer, beer non-beer.
I'm telling you, I'll never get sick of that commercial. San
Nope.
Miguel beer, not beer. I love that commercial. Nah, man, let me tell you, it's I was gone for I haven't said a damn thing about Stank for 90 days. I can come back after 90 days. I said it to him the other day. I said I can come back and just say one thing and say, well, I was thinking about, boom, it'll give him a freaking stroke. The only thing is I'm hoping that the next time he has one, it's a permanent one. I'm not nice, man. I'm nice to certain people that've earned it.
Are you really a bully chasing tail?
No.
No.
Hey, everything I learned from
funning
chasing
me?
tail.
It just goes back and forth between us.
Oh, okay. I really like those love-hate relationships. Those are the most exciting ones.
Yeah, but we laugh about it every time we do it.
Exactly. That's what I love about them, man.
There ain't no hate in there whatsoever.
Well, I mean that metaphorically, not literally,
No.
Oi, oi.
I mean, you guys keep doing what you're doing. You guys enjoy it. This is what I always say. You guys, if you enjoy what you're doing with Stank, just keep doing it and let them. The best time to contact me is when somebody, I don't care. I hope it's Popeye. Man, it would be even funny if it was Barry. Say, hey, I got some news for you, bro. You're going to love this. Stank's on a freaking steel slab, bro. He kicked the bucket for man. That's when I'll celebrate. I ain't got nothing good to say about the guy. Guys like that, you don't have to ever have either say something good or don't say nothing at all. I'd rather say something really bad. The hell with it.
Look at all the greats we got in the live chat. I got Flying Circus. This guy, his material that he's done, sometimes it's a wee bit out there. It takes me a minute or two to get it. Good stuff. We got Don C. Don C. He's been doing great material on the Frank. Okay. These guys actually have their guns loaded. Okay. Yeah, Chris Travels, we have 51 in the live chat, and I appreciate y'all coming out for this. It's always awesome to have you here. Once in a while, I like to get together. I like to do this, have a few people on the live stream.
Mm-hmm.
But as a regular thing, I could not do this day in and day out.
Man, no way.
No.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it day in and day out.
If it's something that you make it your career, after you retire, you're like, I can do this on a constant basis. It's bringing in, it's bringing in the peso, But when you start saying that everybody else, dude, this is all you live for. This is all you'll ever live for. Because let me tell you, I said it before. If you really had a life, or any of these guys had a life, I'll come in and Popeye, he'll text me and say, hey, I'm a little bored. I'm going to do something. Hey, Nico, you want to come by? I said, I'll come by. That's all. When we have the time, 32 freaking, 32, 34, 35 videos a day. And that's what you call life. That's how much time you actually spend with your caretaker. 2.5 hours here, 3 hours there, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. I see all the messages, like people talk. Bro, that's no life, man. But that's your life. That's not a life. That's your life. That's all. That's some crazy shit. Dude, I couldn't do that, man. I couldn't. I really couldn't.
Popeye paid me. Same thing every day? No.
Dude, and it never changes. It's either about Barry or about Popeye, or now it's about Ricky and Gigante and Nico, and back to Barry, and then back to Barry. And
it's just one big circle.
Yeah, that's a life. Come on.
Yeah, Sweet Pea. Who else was paid to attend this stream? I was threatened by Papa. Damn right you were threatened. I threatened everybody. I told them all, if you don't show up, you're going to be sleeping with the damn fishes the next morning.
Yep.
As long as they ain't dried fish, I'm good.
Oh, my God. Oof, that'd be cool.
See, that is a friendship between women. Me and Yads are going to get our hair braided because we both look fabulous with
Dude,
the
how many times do I got to tell you? quit drinking the soy milk, you're raising your estrogen levels.
Today was the almond milk.
Same thing. Same thing.
It's the foo-foo drink, man.
Friggin' foo. Why don't you just get up in the morning and be a friggin' man and drink a black cup of coffee, have some bacon and friggin' eggs, okay? Huh?
Well, listen. This is what happened. You told me to start drinking black coffee, and I do. But now I'm pissing sitting down. I have to make a choice.
What?
Yeah. So now, if I want to piss straight up, I can't. I gotta drink my almond milk. So I gotta choose one. I tried the coffee, but now I'm pissing sitting down, Papa. I don't like it.
Sounds like a personal problem, man. A doctor if I was you.
I started squatting, Papa. I couldn't help it. Even Jason Tails like, what the fuck did he just say?
I'm still trying to process that.
He wants me to be a man, a bigger man, chasing tails. So he wants me to drink black coffee. But I told him, I can't drink that shit like you do, man. Listen, Popeye, he says he does his lawn. He shaves every day because that coffee grows hair on his body like he's a freaking wolf, man. And he's like, try it, Nico. But then it made me masculine on one side and feminine on the other. So now I'm peeing.
Oh, you have to just keep going, man. You can't keep switching up. All right.
See, I thought it worked.
You have to get all the estrogen
out of the system.
Christ.
I'm gonna try. I'll try a couple. You know what? I'll try for the rest of the week, and if I start talking a little different, let me know. I think I can feel it coming on right now.
Be a real man. No, I won't even eat the bacon raw, man. No, thank you.
Hey, Don C, you want to hear something crazy? The other day, my daughter told me, say, Dad, have you ever eaten bacon raw? And I said, you know what? We still got that molasses, right? She goes, yeah. So I took a little brush and brushed it with molasses and ate a piece of bacon raw. I thought it was really, really good, but I think it could make you sick. I don't know. I just took the chance and did it. So I tried, and it hurt my feelings, Don C, because that bacon
one
with
piece
the
won't hurt you. If you eat the whole slab, then it'll make you sick.
You know, Nico, I took my dog to the vet yesterday. And I put little Hector right up there on the table for her to examine.
Yeah.
And she's looking at him. She checked his heart. She checked his eyes. She flipped on her little light and looked in his ear. And then she says to me, when are you going to get him neutered? And I said, what are you talking about? He's already been neutered. And she lifted his tail and she says, what's this back here? And lo and behold, my dog had a set of balls back there. And I said, dude, he was neutered when I got him from the SPCA. I don't know why he has a set of balls now. They must have grown. And she says to me, what do you feed him? I says, well, if I have bacon and eggs in the morning, he has bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
All right. If I have a cup of coffee, he has a cup of coffee. All right. We go for long walks. We do manly things. And then she asked me, she said, well, you want me to neuter him again? I said, leave him alone. He's harmless. He can't even reach half the female dogs.
But he tries, though. I give him credit.
In my neighborhood.
And tell him that quick story about what he did to that Rottweiler.
Dude.
He was big, and he's trying to hump that Rottweiler. Hector forgets that he's a little dynamite, but he still tries.
Dude, Roddy come by. He come flying out the gate. He jumped right on the back of the Rottweiler, started humping away. He was missing. He was missing every time. He wasn't getting any penetration, man. And the Rottweiler looked back like, who's this crazy motherfucker?
He looked over his shoulder, and he's like, Hector's like, I don't care. I don't care how big you are.
But and so I don't know why. I don't know why Stankilla here is calling my dog a foo-foo dog. My dog weighs in at 9 pounds, 3 ounces and is sheer muscle. My dog could kick Frank's ass, okay? And he only stands, let me take a good look at him. He stands about 9 inches tall.
Well, he's probably, if you measure him right, he's probably a little shorter than Stank, so Stank can feel a little happy that somebody is tall. He's taller than somebody, you know.
Yeah. And dude, this is funny, man. He got so upset when I had Hagante on the last show.
Oh, Jesus.
And I asked Hagante about the height difference between him and Bama.
Yep.
He just urinated all over him. I'm taller than- I have never seen a guy so self-conscious about his height in all my life.
And you know what? I have always even said it, Popeye. I have said he's slightly taller. Well, I never said that, you know, Bama is, if Bama didn't lean into that hump and he stayed straight, he's taller than him, dude. I've seen them both, man. I pay attention to that shit.
That's right, Chris Cato. At 9 inches, Hector is taller than Frank.
I'll tell you.
Are you getting it now, Nico?
Yeah.
I just did remedial joke for you.
At,
All
at
right?
9 inches, everything is bigger than Stank.
I got to put a sign up on my office door here, room 222.
222. Oh my God.
Oh man. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. And March is coming. And soon we'll be saying a fond farewell to Francine.
I hope he gets everything that's coming to him, dude.
So is that actually official?
Oh, dude. I would say we're at the 90 percentile rate right now.
Good.
It's a 90-10 issue. 90 he's gone, 10% no. It's like we're in the fourth quarter. We got it on the 1 yard line.
Yep.
We're just trying to figure out the right play.
You're 5
for the
inches.
touchdown. Ain't that right, Hector? You having a good time down there, buddy? Huh? You know, you're a good dog. I don't give a shit what they say about you.
Hey, nobody, you know what's funny? Nobody really does give a shit about what Stank says. We just go with the flow and have fun with it. He lives it every freaking day. He lives it every day, dude. And you can hear it in his shows. He says, I really don't have the time. And he tells you what every other show has done and what this guy says and what he said in another show. That's what he does. He spends most of his time finding out who he can flag, who he can talk about, who said this, who said that. That is Stank's complete life.
Well, check this out. Chris Cato says, hey, Popeye, did you know Frank played football? He started out as a tight end, but ended up as a left as a wide receiver.
Yeah. I can see that, Chris. Good. Yeah. You know, I'd love to see photos of that.
You know what would be the greatest outcome?
Oh, I can't wait to hear this one.
Dude, this motherfucker goes down to immigration. They give him the runaround.
Keep going.
And then they take him into custody and put him in the Mandawi 6 hotel right next to fucking Bama. That would be YouTube history right there. Yeah, he was an all-American receiver, Chris. Exactly. Because Frank likes to receive. He's not a giver. Oh man. So What are your plans lately there, Mr. Chasing Tail?
As far as,
As far as anything, man.
dude, I just go to work, come home, and try and catch up on all the BS that's going on and
uh-huh.
live my life.
Very well, very well. You planning on going back to the Philippines anytime soon?
Again in August,
That's cool.
maybe.
Yeah.
That's
I've
cool.
got a torn meniscus, so waiting on my brace for that, and then I go from there.
Well, get yourself unfucked, young man, and go have
Yeah.
a good time.
Well, it doesn't help that I'm a heavy line tech, so
Yeah. So you're always on the move.
yep.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get better because I thought I had a meniscus on my left and it wasn't. It was just a muscle. It's just it was bruised. And that was it. I'm fully recovered now. I'm ready. Like I said, now I'm walking a little bit more, but I've cut back a
Well,
lot.
I keep telling you, if you stop playing with your muscle, you won't bruise it.
I mean, it's the only thing I have.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's not in the muscle. It is a meniscus.
Oh, good. When I hope you heal. Hey, I'm out. Stank. I'll be right back. Popeye, I'll be right back. Chasing Tail, I'll be right back.
So I'm just waiting on the VA to get off their shenanigans and get me in to be fitted for a brace.
There you go. There you go. There you go. And I hope everything works out for you there, Chasing Tail. And it's all good for you. So,
It's all good.
mhm.
I go to work every day, fight with it. So
Okay. All right. And how's the missus doing?
good.
No problems?
No, not at all.
That's good to hear. That's good to
She's
hear.
she keeps saying, "Come home, come home."
Oh man. Yeah, that's then you gotta go home. That's all there is to it. You gotta do what
Yeah,
the missus says, right?
but yeah, it's all good. I think this next go around, I'm gonna support one YouTuber to fly down and meet with us. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have a meet and greet and 3 birthdays all in one.
There you go. That sounds good. Nico is going to check on his lawn again. All right, Nico left. And anyway, we've been at it for, oh my God,
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
2:33.
So I want to thank Mr. Tux, Chris Cato, Nico's Experience, Mazda 9, Bobsy Channel. I want to thank all you guys. Don C, Yad Samodia, always great to see you there, kiddo. Mike Dowdy, Mike Ross, Steve 25901. Oh my God, they're all in here today. They're all in here. And so you guys, oh yeah, Sweet Pea. We can't forget Sweet Pea.
Don't forget Sweet Pea.
And Hell on Earth. Some of the names, Chris Cato, Chris Travels. Yeah, some of the names you guys come up with are just freaking hilarious, man. Just freaking hilarious. All right, so you guys have a good night, and I'll catch you on the flip side. This is Popeye 1. We're out of here, bro.